Hello everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to another video over here on That's Comical. And if you're watching and it happens to be a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. Well guys, yeah, it's been a while since this show actually aired on HBO Max, and it took me a little bit of time to actually slog through it, and by the time I officially finished it, it just took me a long time to get over here and talk to you about it. And that, of course, is the second and apparently final season of Peacemaker. And that, of course, is the second season featuring John Cena and the cast that we have grown to know and love from a very fun and outrageously hilarious first season. So let's just say that I was not one of the few people out there that was excited for a second season of Peacemaker, especially considering the fact that Peacemaker Season 1 came out right around the time that the transition from Zack Snyder holding on to the DC Universe, transferring it over to James Gunn. So basically, from Snyderverse to DC Universe, that was a weird time for a show like Peacemaker to come out. So clearly, we see that Peacemaker Season 2 is part of James Gunn's new DCU because of the one major thing that a lot of people talked about, and that was the retcon of the end of Season 1. So that would already confuse the living heck out of you, so you would probably say to yourself, okay, so now where does Suicide Squad and Peacemaker Season 1 fall into this whole timeline? I mean, what was the point of making Season 1 when you're practically just going to retcon it in Season 2? And that's just one of the frustrations that a lot of people had. But now we're going to get to my overall thoughts and a great deal of frustrations, because I hated this season, number one, and number two, after finishing this season, it is the weirdest thing to say, but I am officially jumping off of the brand new DCU train. I am done with James Gunn's DC Universe vision. I've even heard rumors that James Gunn might not actually be in charge of the DC Universe for films and television in just a couple of months because of the fact that Warner Brothers is now officially on the auction block. So let me just say this, guys. If you enjoyed Superman 2025, that's great. It was a fun movie, and will I actually consider seeing Supergirl? At this point in time, I'm very much a maybe, because I do not like where this DC Universe is going, because it is not what the DC Universe should be. It is trying way too hard to be like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I do not like that, because even the Marvel Cinematic Universe is officially in free fall. The hype around Avengers Doomsday is practically non-existent, no matter how much the studio is throwing at us with who's going to be in the movie and all the possible things floating around in the rumor mill. But now let's get back to Peacemaker Season 2 before I go and ramble on even further. The acting in the show, like the first season, was good. Everybody plays their roles and plays their roles well. But then we get into the story, and that is the fact that after the events of Season 1, Peacemaker is just down in the effing dumps. He wants to find a way to get to a happy life in his world, and he does that by discovering this secret door in his father's house that leads him to a secret pocket dimension with a whole bunch of doors, and each of those doors is going to lead to an alternate universe. Here we go again. I am so sorry to say this, but as a science fiction fan, the concept of the alternate universe, or the multiverse, is one of my favorite concepts in science fiction, because as I have said, whether it's on this channel or whether it was on my own channel, it is one of the most believable concepts in science. Because I do believe that when we officially reach many crossroads in our lives, we have to make a choice. And we're always curious if we went in the other direction, was a universe created where we made that choice? It's possible. It's very real. But because of the fact that it is such an interesting idea, it has been milked for all it is worth everywhere. From the Marvel Cinematic Universe to frickin' Rick and Morty, it's everywhere. And now it's no longer being milked, it is basically being beaten like a dead horse, and I am furious about it. Taking my favorite idea in science fiction and fantasy and basically making it anything from laughable to pointless to just flat out annoying just hurts my heart to no avail. And the fact that the DC brains knew that this was an idea that a lot of people didn't care about, and they had already made an animated trilogy based on the Marv Wolfman and George Perez masterpiece that was Crisis on Infinite Earths, which ended up just being a subpar, but in the end, not the worst animated films in the world, to just continue to use this idea. It's just, I'm done. I am flat out done. Now, the idea in Peacemaker, was it entertaining? Sure, because he finds a perfect world only to discover there's a reason why that world is quote-unquote perfect, and it turns out that this perfect world is not so perfect after all. And, of course, how is that shown? Through a couple of subliminal political messages. Another thing that I think myself and many other film goers and TV show fans like me are just sick and tired of, and yet all the corporate studios just will not stop. Where does the show end? On a cliffhanger that I don't even care about. And they even said that they're not even planning on making a season 3. So why did you make a frickin' cliffhanger? I don't understand. So, this, officially for me, kills the DCU. And it literally just started. I don't care about the Amanda Waller show. I don't care about the Booster Gold show. I don't care about the Batman, the Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern TV show, and that makes me even more upset because I am such a big Green Lantern fan. And like I said, probably not even the Supergirl movie, because the wrong people were chosen to take up the torch after Zack Snyder left due to unfortunate family circumstances, but didn't even get the opportunity to come back and pick up the pieces, because I don't care what anybody says. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a phenomenal film. Say what you will, it is everything I wanted a DC film to be. It came out exactly when it needed to. It came out during a time when nobody cared about what was going on in MCU Phase 4, and I will always say that Zack Snyder is responsible for some of the most beautifully crafted comic book-based films. Say what you will about 300 or Watchmen, I think that those two are friggin' masterpieces. Justice League, not so much a masterpiece. Man of Steel, still I think the best Superman movie I've ever seen. But I would have rather had him make more DC films than what James Gunn is giving us right now. After Guardians of the Galaxy, which was perfect for James Gunn, I just could not see him doing Superman or Supergirl or Wonder Woman or Batman. I just cannot see it. And I've flat out now witnessed his possible potential in regards to what he's done so far, and I don't like it. Not to mention all of the things that didn't need to be in Peacemaker Season 2. And believe me, you know what I'm talking about. Because decent human beings all over the interwebs who talked about Peacemaker Season 2 talked about how there was no need for that, and it was crude, and it was not right, and it was just left us wondering and scratching our heads as to why it was there. So, Peacemaker Season 2 didn't need to happen, but it happened. I've seen it, and those are my thoughts. And like I said, I'm jumping off this DCU train right frickin' now. I'm done. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below. Let me know if you saw Peacemaker Season 2. Wouldn't be surprised if I get a couple of people in the comments saying you have no idea what you're talking about, so let's talk about it. I'll see you in the next one.